Now, the Pentagon will reportedly pour a major sum into a new infrastructure for its military base at Guantanamo Bay. The U.S. government repeatedly pledged to put an end to the controversial detention facility that's based at the site and used to hold terror suspects. RT's Guy Chichiken has more.
$40 million will be spent to lay out this underwater fiber optic cable from South Florida to Cuba, where the Guantanamo Bay prison camp is located. The base commander said it only makes sense if we're going to be here for any period of time. An infrastructure project like that may well suggest that the U.S. military is preparing for detentions and other operations at the Guantanamo base for the long term. When President Obama was first running for office, he pledged to shut down Guantanamo in very strong terms. In 2009, he even signed an executive order to close it. But not only did he not shut it down, but the U.S. is obviously renovating Guantanamo, in this case by improving communications. And the argument is you don't make such an investment to pick up and leave. Guantanamo has made a black hole in America's human rights record. Indefinite detention, torture. Around 800 people went through the camp within the last decade of America's war on terror. The majority of them had nothing to do with 9/11. That's according to a former chief prosecutor at Guantanamo. Now the prison houses 169 detainees. The government says 89 aren't a threat, but President Obama and Congress have blocked their release. As for the rest, some of them have a shot at a military hearing, but 46 don't have that chance because the government says they can't be tried for one reason or another. The U.S. Supreme Court keeps refusing to take up Guantanamo detainees' petitions. What has been striking to many was that the U.S. prides itself on the rule of law and human rights, but at the same time has denied due legal process to these detainees, practiced torture, and not just in Guantanamo, but in secret prisons around the world. Human rights organizations have issued reports on all kinds of violations, but to the U.S., it's been like water off a duck's back.
U.S. lawyer and attorney Eric Montalva, who's represented some of the detainees at Guantanamo, believes the American leadership is totally failing to practice what it preaches.
You're saying one thing and doing the complete opposite. On one hand, we're closing the base, but on the other hand, we're crafting one of the state-of-the-art penal institutions in the United States. There's a big disconnect between the Justice Department, between Homeland Security, between the President of the United States and our foreign policy. And I think we need to evaluate, why we're spending millions upon millions of dollars on something that should not even be there in the first place.